The Gyanodaya that we know today is called Gyanodaya 2.0. Gyanodaya 1.0 started in 1999. And when the Aditya Birla Group acquired a plot in Belapur, a very small plot, and they wanted to establish a training center for graduates before they entered the Aditya Birla Group system to do corporate training, stay on campus for 3 to 4 months, and then enter the corporate structure. 15 years later, we got a call from the Aditya Birla Group. It came out that we've acquired the next plot and we want to do one more training center. So that's when Gyanodaya 2 got created. And one fine day, I believe Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla told Mr. Contractor that we need something completely different. And we want to portray to the world that the Aditya Birla Group is a fluid and agile group. And at that very instant, Mr. Contractor came up with an idea of fluidity. So the whole building is a fluid set of lines and no single line matches the other. That's why when you look at the building, it's a several floors stacked on each other, including a fantastic double-height lobby. You have a grand staircase leading up, and then all the floors ever so slightly shift, keeping the structural grid in mind. And the one thing that we took from the Gyanodaya 1 was Gyanodaya 1 has got this one super column that rests the entire building. So we did a modern interpretation of that in the new building, where we have this beautiful column and all the floors come and connect to it, and that creates the dropout.
You know, the whole process started in a way, it was architecture and interiors hand in hand. Like if you see the architecture, it is complementing the interiors, interior complements the architecture. When we were initially doing the planning, this is a very interesting thing to note, but we were actually made to sit in the Gyanodaya East Campus, the old campus, and experience a full day of lecture that happens over there. So to get the exact space created, the way the education system should work and the way the spacing and the planning should be, we were made to experience that, and that's how the whole space planning had turned up.
The architecture and interior both talk to each other because they're fluidic in nature. Even though we have a very high floor-to-floor of the section, the kind of glass that we have used and the kind of fins that we have put are able to block out most of the direct sunlight that enters the building. And we've put this strategically, like as you move around the building, you'll find the fins at different heights, which normally you can't identify. That's because the amount of shading that we've done on the west and southwest is more than the amount of shading we've done on the north and the east. And that's what gives the building the character. The other unique thing is there are balconies that keep shifting on different levels. And in terms of a technicality, it's very difficult to drain a balcony if you don't get a drain spout running vertically through the building. So we actually had to create an external drainage system that carried all the water from each level to the back of the building and then drained it down through the basements. We have 72 different curvatures of glass in this building. If you see the building today, what you don't realize is there is an inner glass which has a certain radius. There is a glass immediately after it which has a different radius. There is a band and there is a gutter. Each one has a growing radius. And all of that had to be machine factory made for it to fit perfectly on site. As we entered the project, we realized that some of the facade contractors actually didn't have the ability to do this. So we did all these engineering drawings in-house, set up all the curvatures, and just sent it via the contractor for factory cutting. Something which is, I don't think, ever done in architectural practice. So Gyanodaya, for a whole host of reasons, is a very interesting, extremely technically difficult project to make happen. The first floor is like a mezzanine where we've pushed it back so that that volume can be created. We have this grand staircase, and which has been built in steel, And the main reason we've done that staircase so wide is the graduating batch. So we wanted the building and the interior of the building to become the photograph point for every graduating batch. So Gyanodaya remains in their memory.
So this is basically the 2 levels where you have your classrooms, your meeting rooms, your discussion room. The opposite side that you see are small breakout rooms. So these breakout areas are taken up by these people, like a group of 10 takes up one classroom. They sit over there for half an hour. They come up with the idea, like the brainstorming sessions that they do.
Above the tuition floors, there's a large dining floor, which has got 2-3 pop-up kitchens. It's got kiosks as well as a large dining space.
So it's a double height grand cafeteria, and if you see the ceiling, it's complementing the architecture, even the flow of the flooring. When you enter at the reception, the lift lobby, you see that flowing pattern on the floor. The furniture is arranged and aligned in a way that gives you a nice complementing experience. There's a lot of greenery inside the premises, like there's a lot of actual tall plants that has been put inside. From the photographs you will get some idea. The ceiling also, if you see in the cafeteria, it's very dynamic. It's basically a baffle ceiling which is acoustics, plus it gives a dynamic form exactly the way how the architecture is outside, like it's flowing from all the sides. The ceiling itself also flows. There was a big challenge to achieve it because it was actually shaping up in two angles, like not just vertically but horizontally also.
And the dining floor is one floor where you don't want to acoustically seal it. You just want a little bit of acoustics, but you want the noise to bounce around. You want that sort of vibe in the floor. So we've achieved that. And then above that, we have 2 residential floors where we have between 25 to 32 square meter rooms where these interns or graduates will be staying for anywhere between a week to 6 weeks to 8 weeks during their induction programs at Gyanodaya.
So the brief was not to have a lot of amenities, but more of an interactive kind of a setup, because there are people from different areas and different verticals. They'll come and they'll participate together. So for them to know each other, they should be more involved in features which are more interactive. So that's why it was all created in a way that they will more gel with each other, maybe while playing TT, playing a snooker game. So all those amenities like these are created on the 5th floor, where you have the full floor plate. Then the 6th floor obviously has a cutout, and then the skylight on top, which is very neatly designed. If you see the photos, like the skylight also complements the architecture, and the lights coming in that amenity area, it makes it look very beautiful.
Because of the floor to floor being different at each and every programmatic level, the staircases and all are quite complicated in the building. And we have this beautiful staircase. When you get from level 0 to level 2 with that grand staircase, what we call the celebration staircase, then we've got this beautiful curved staircase that connects all the way from level 2 to the dining floor. And because we wanted to encourage people to move up and down the building on foot rather than take the elevators. So we purposely didn't stack all the staircase in one lot. From level 0 to level 2, you take the grand staircase, and then you enter this beautiful curved staircase that takes you 3 more levels up. So in that, we were able to create a lot of interest, a lot of play. So one of the things which is very unique in Gyanodaya is the facade. There are so many different curvatures of glass, and due to the different curvatures of glass and aluminium, there's a very systematic way in which the entire, the drawing work, piecing it up into pieces which can be made in the factory, etc. All of the post-design process, which usually as a consulting firm we don't get into. We give a design, and you will have a fabricator come back to you with the options. In this case, because this was an industry first, we had to step into the fabricator's shoes and actually define each panel with each panel segment so that it can be made in his factory. It has to be transport worthy to come to site, and it has to be of the right weight so it can be lifted. The curvature which was beyond a certain length, the piece itself, once it was fixed, was behaving in torsion. So one corner of the piece would pull the other corner, and the feedback which came back was that eventually we would see a crack. So this is stuff that we never knew because we don't get into it. But in Gyanodaya, we were lucky to learn all of these nuances in facade design, engineering, and how to put it together.
The biggest challenge of all is obviously the way to align the services that are running behind. After the whole thing is done, you don't see any services and you think कि सब हो गया होगा. Because we had to literally fight to get the services aligned with the architectural form, with the interiors forms, because it's very difficult to customize a service running above, because you have to do your straight darks and then you have a alignment in those services coming down and shown in the ceiling, but they are not going with our form. So we had to literally do a lot of retrofit, a lot of modifications in that to achieve that the service fitting is aligned with the interiors and the aesthetics. So we used to do a lot of mock-ups in this case, not really on the site also, but we had a lot of supportive vendors and the contractors who were working on this.
A very important thing in a building like this is the landscape. And we worked with Manin Prashad of PSLD Landscape. And because we had a severe shortage or paucity of landscape space, whatever we had to curate it very beautifully. So when we get dropped off, we have this 6-meter tall wall. And with Manin, we were able to work out these stepping landscapes with different species of plantation. What that does is, at the drop-off point, you get a little bit of pause, you're able to get some visual green, and even from the lobby you see it. Then we have on the second level, because the building steps, we have a little private serenity garden, which is again a space for people to just take a break. But that space has been curated in such a way that it's landscaped at the same time, it's very, very private. I must credit the two colleagues that worked on this project, Kalpesh, Mevada, who handled the project day to day and the entire execution and the design and to bring this project to reality, as well as Hyder, who was doing the interiors. We were fortunate to have a team that worked together, that respected each other's space, and we were able to do that in unison with the mentorship of Mr. Contractor.